Hi, I hope you're doing well today. I'm here to talk about the act of giving and receiving. And it's a little bit sunny where I stand, but at the same time it's windy. And let's see how it goes from here. So, I would like to explore more in this conversation with you about the act of giving and receiving because I think that we live in days that sometimes is very challenging for some people to recognize the importance of that amidst a lot of things that might be happening around that may be perceived as disappointing or annoying or irritating, But it is about being in this disposition of constantly giving that we set things into motion, that we have this great opportunity of expanding more than we ever thought, that we can be continuously exposing ourselves to different situations that will lead us to a better ways of having this experience, this earthly experience. And I think that sometimes, even though it might be tough, it is actually when we tap into this inner ability that we have of being with our open hearts and dedicating ourselves to whatever we think and whatever we feel and whatever we perceive as important and a priority to us, is when actually things happen. And sometimes we have to be very grounded to recognize that no matter what has been happening around, we can always go an extra mile. And this has nothing to do with what other people might be asking or what other people might be doing. It's all about an inner disposition of experiencing more, of growing and evolving and expanding in the here and now, in recognizing that there's no other way. There's no other way to go. Of course, I'm not talking about situations in which there is a lot of abuse, that you can recognize that it doesn't make sense for you to continuously giving when you are feeling depleted along the way. But what I'm saying is about you recognizing that as you open yourself to give more in whatever you do, it can be in your work, in your relationships, with your friends, with your family, it inevitably will lead to better interactions. It will lead to an improved life and lives, because it's about you being the vessel through which this is possible. So I think that we can also recognize ourselves as these people who nurture, who care about the place, about spaces, about the groups with which we interact. We can be these care bears, let's put it that way, of situations and what we're creating. And I think that it is also about recognizing that it's the giving and the receiving. It happens simultaneously. It's not something that you give and then you receive, because this is a very linear way of seeing things. But when you start giving, this simultaneously creates this space for the thing that you are pursuing to also reach you. Meaning that when you go in this direction, whatever you need is also coming to you because you are open-hearted to receive that. And when you give, you become more open-hearted, and by becoming with an open heart more and more, then you receive more as well as a result. It's like complete magnetism. We're talking here about magnetism. So you inevitably attract situations, resources, and those that are somewhat resonating with whatever you might be doing, to just pop up in your reality, in your life. it's not about you striving in the sense of having to make a lot of effort in. It's more like this inner work of continuously being open-hearted to experience more. So let's say that you went through situations lately that have been perceived by you as disappointing or annoying or whatever. It's part of this journey, of this human journey. Sometimes like we hear things that doesn't make sense at all, but they only have importance if you give that importance. If you recognize that sometimes the person is being considerate and are not necessarily being talking from a place of alignment, why would you be taking that so seriously? If that's a stupidity, it's a stupidity. Why would you take seriously something that is stupid? So, and I'm all saying those things because this week has been very challenging, but in a good way. I had to go an extra mile in different aspects, like with my family, with my work, with interactions, with the spaces, with places. But I didn't refuse anything that had happened. It was just like a kind of experience that led me to say, okay, how I'm feeling about this, how I'm taking this into higher grounds within myself, to the extent that I can see this and say, okay, what is it for me from this experience? And you always, if you ask yourself that, you always search for the answers. The answers are always available. Maybe they don't come straight away when you make the question, when you pose a question, but it comes. So yesterday, another example, I was kind of feeling confused in a moment of the day, and I posed questions, and these questions all led me into the answer that I'm giving in this video, which is this disposition to give. So when you are open and when you are willing to serve, when you are willing to go an extra mile, when you are willing to want to know how you can better serve others, this inevitably will bring you the answer that you need. Maybe it's not right away, but it can be hours later. It can be through interaction that you have with another person. It can be through a research that you do, but you have to be in motion. It's not just about you feeling, oh, I want to help people, but it's when you put yourself into this mode that things start to pop up and people will start to come into your reality. The information that you need comes up, the resources that you need comes up, and it's very quickly. The more you are receptive, the quickly things come into your space, your reality. And this is exactly what happened yesterday. I was feeling kind of confused, and then I said those things, for myself, that this is what I wanted, and I asked the universe, I posed some questions, and I just allowed them to come. And I was receptive that no matter what kind of answer I could receive, they would all lead me into where I need to be, what I need to do, with whom I need to be. And this is what happened. Hours later, all those things start to crowd in, literally crowded in. They crowded in all simultaneously. While I was making a research, the information was coming through another person, and then there was a media that was near me, and then suddenly that kind of information also jumped in. So I had all the answers that I needed. It's all about remaining open. It's not about receiving and then giving. Imagine if the entire humanity right nowadays, they would say, oh, I'm at the point of all those things, so I'm gonna cross my arms here and wait for something to save me. That ain't gonna happen the way. We can't, because if you stop that way, then these will start to affect other areas of your life, and you don't want that, right? So it's far better if we individually start to recognize that actually we already have what we need, and it's all about giving in very tangible ways, that things start to be causing this ripple effect, a very positive one in your life and in the lives of others. Just let that sink in a little bit. You have yourself. You have your instruments, your capabilities. You have your body, you have your voice, you have your resources. It's about you making the best with what you have instead of always being constantly focusing on what is lacking. Oh, I need these, then I would do that. Oh, if I would have that, then I would do that. Blah, 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 blah. It's just excuses. These are only excuses that are created by the mind. So when you start giving, it comes from your heart space. And your heart space, you get so excited about whatever you do, your level of dedication, devotion, or whatever word you might feel more connected with, that there's no other chance than for the mind to just go in and say, yeah, that's it, let's do that. So your mind starts to respond to this emotional disposition of yours, from a soul level, to dedicate yourself to that, devote yourself to that, and being there, be present in whatever way you can. It can be through your words, it can be through your time, the knowledge that you share with others. It can be the smile that you give to a person, to your neighbor. It can be so many ways that we can help and assist and contribute. So why we would be constantly thinking, oh, then if I have like this backup, from these companies and have all this amount of money, then I will do that thing. It's the other way around. Start doing and things pop up. This, of course, in the case of a business, but you can apply this to whatever situation. Whatever situation. So, I hope this helps. I hope that these can somehow resonate with you at a deeper level. Even though it seems very simple, there's so much going on in this conversation, and I'm pretty sure about that. And give yourself the chance to expand, to evolve, to grow. Don't wait for the right circumstances, because the circumstances you create with your soul when you set yourself into motion. When you use whatever you have, your capabilities, and you go in that direction, things will come your way. Just be receptive and be willing to give. So thank you so much, guys, for the talk today. I hope that you have enjoyed that as well, and see you next time. Bye bye.